All right, fellow romantasy lovers, I've been waiting to talk about this one because it completely took my weekend. The epic romantasy finale, Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick, is finally here. And if you're into anything Book Talk is raving about right now, you need this. This is the fourth and final book in the Legacy series, a dark romantasy packed with fae, dragons, shifters, vampires, witches, meddling gods, you name it. And what I love about this world is that it's not your typical medieval fantasy backdrop. Think high fantasy meets modern tech. Magic everywhere, but people are still texting, driving, dating, using computers. It gives big Crescent City vibes in the best way. And honestly, I got so pulled into the emotional roller coaster. The heroine is dealing with depression and anxiety, and the way the story handles her mental health made the stakes feel so real. Plus, the tropes. Fated mates, morally gray chaos, one bed, touch her and die. It's basically a Book Talk bingo card of everything we love. Now, if you haven't read the series yet, this is the series finale, so don't start here. But the good news, all 4 books are out now, and they make such a great gift for that friend who is constantly reading romantasy and keeping up with every online book trend. Dawn of Chaos and Fury is on sale now, available for the first time as a Kensington trade paperback and ebook. So grab your copy and dive into the chaos. You can find Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick wherever books are sold in print and in ebook.
With the holidays right around the corner, it's time for me to start planning all the festive meals and treats for the season. Frozen Washington red raspberries are the ultimate holiday shortcut to flavor, as they are picked at peak ripeness and frozen within hours to lock in their bright, sweet tart taste. I love raspberries in my desserts, and boy does this cran raspberry pecan tart sound delicious. Grown by passionate farmers in Washington state, they're frozen with care to ensure top quality and food safety, and it always feels good to support local American farmers. And here's the best part. They're always in season. When you buy American-grown frozen raspberries, you're getting fresh off the field flavor all year long. You can find them at Costco, Kroger, Meijer, and Winco Foods. Make sure to look for product in the U.S. on the bag. Check out True Fruit Mars Hyper Chilled Chocolate-Covered Raspberries and Smucker's Raspberry Jam. Want to learn more details on where to find American frozen red raspberries plus recipe ideas and cooking tips? Head to redraz.org. That's redrazz.org. You'll find participating retailers as an inspiration for every meal, plus info on how these berries go from farm to freezer with quality you can taste. Welcome to our mini-series, The 8 Days of Dating Optimism, your pre-New Year reboot that helps you rebuild hope and confidence for finding love in the new year. Enjoy!
You know that feeling when dating starts to feel like one long string of almosts? Messages that fizzle, plans that don't quite land, timing that never seems to line up? Yeah? And it can make you wonder if the universe is even paying attention. But what if the story isn't over? It's just not in its final chapter yet. In day 4 of our 8 days of dating optimism, we're talking about timing, persistence, and the quiet magic that happens when 2 people finally meet each other at the right moment. In this episode that originally aired in 2018, we're talking with Valerie, who shares the incredible story of meeting her now husband, Rob, first online, where they never actually met, and then again through a completely unexpected real-life chance encounter. It's one of those stories that pulls you right back into believing that dating isn't just strategy. Sometimes it's serendipity. Valerie's a friend of mine, and I loved her story because it reminded me of the serendipity and magic in dating we so often forget. Her story proves that perseverance isn't about chasing, it's about staying open. It's about trusting that you will cross paths with the right person when both of you are ready. We dive into how timing shapes connection, how 2 people can be on parallel paths without knowing it, and why staying open without over-attaching can make space for the unexpected to happen. If you've ever wondered whether misconnections matter or if the right person can still find their way back to you, this episode is your reminder that love doesn't always follow your timeline, but it often finds you anyway. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you get the next episode in this series automatically. And while you're at it, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us more than you know, and it's truly the best gift you can give us this season. Okay, enjoy. You guys wrote in and we heard you guys. You love these how we met stories. These he said, she said, how couples meet, how they carry on a relationship. And we're also very fascinated by how different people meet. And when Julie and I were brainstorming different guests for this season, I thought, oh my gosh, my friend Val would be perfect because she has such a great story with how she and her husband Rob met. So we have Val on the phone. Hi, Val.
Hi.
Hey. She is 36 years old, originally from Orange County and currently lives in Orange County as well. She's married and has beautiful children. And I think we should just get to it because I've known Val for a long time, way back to when she was single and dating to now as a married woman with kids. Tell us how you and Rob first met.
Okay. I was working in Los Angeles County in South Bay, and I was dating the entire universe. And that's how this all started. And he was too.
And how old were you?
Met. Oh gosh, I was, I think, 27 when, I was originally 26 actually, because we first were connected during 1 year and then we reconnected.
Yes.
So
that's part of the story. Start from the 26. Yes.
Yes. So we were actually matched on eHarmony. I worked in court and was dating like every DA you could think of and public defender and all of that. And I was also online because one of my best friends had just met her husband through eHarmony. And so all of us in our little circle of friends were jumping on the bandwagon and going on there. At the time, this was before swiping. This was before any of the apps. So this was probably 2008, I think. And so anyways, I was matched with Rob on eHarmony, and I was matched with a lot of guys, and I completely blew him off. He called me. I just never called him back. And for some reason, I just remembered him. I remembered his picture. Something about him kind of struck with me.
But why were you blowing off all these men? Why did you even go on eHarmony if you're going to do that?
You have to pay for a lot, right?
I was so busy, and I was dating I'm talking 4 nights a week, going on different dates. That was just my lifestyle at the time as a 26-year-old girl. I mean, I really was I've always been the girl that wanted to get married and wanted to find the person. So I was always kind of in a hurry for that. And so I don't know, I guess he definitely, I noticed him, but apparently not enough because I wasn't really motivated to call him back. And so I
don't know this part of the story. So he actually called you on the phone?
Yeah.
Left a message and you just never called him back.
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
You guys had a lot of back and forth messaging as well?
I'm trying to remember if I ever called him. I don't think so. I think that he just called me and I just did not respond. I think we, you were talking about messaging. I think we emailed a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we emailed. I don't think we ever texted or anything. I think that we emailed a bit, just a little. And then he called me and I just never got back to him. And so this was probably that summer. And so then I actually ended up getting a boyfriend that was awful. And we broke up in 2009 in about May. So after he and I broke up, I went back to my old, ways, and I found Rob's number and I actually called him.
Oh, what?
And he and I both don't remember how that played out. Because for some reason, we just, again, didn't get in touch. I remember I either called him or texted him or something. I remember that really well. And then,
what compelled you to call him? Besides the fact that
it's so weird. I don't know why, because there were so many guys I was matched with. Why I went back to. I probably went back to a few. Not gonna lie, but I definitely went back to him. And now that we're married with these millions of children, I'm it's the universe was trying to keep him in my life somehow. It's weird that happened. So fast forward to September, I am with my girlfriend. We drove to San Francisco for the weekend, had the best time ever, and we had tickets to the Dave Matthews concert. And this is Tiffany Yue, who
yes.
And so she and I had the best summer ever. She met her husband that summer, and I met Rob that summer. So we went to San Francisco. We were exhausted. We went wine tasting in Napa. We had the best time ever. And we had these tickets though, and I had I had these tickets forever, and I offered for her to come with me, and it was all the way in Irvine. And, we drove that morning out. And so anyways, we so almost did not go, but we were like, God, we have these great seats, Dave Matthews, we have to go. So we get to the concert and we're sitting in our seats having the best time. And we notice that there's this couple behind us, and they're like so obnoxious. I shouldn't say the girl, she was awful. She was like dancing like a stripper in the walkways. And she just was like all over this guy. He seemed horrified. He just was so bored out of his mind. And after and everybody was looking at them. They were like a scene. I keep saying them. It was really the girl.
Really her. Okay. Was she really drunk?
Exactly. Oh, wasted.
Okay.
Completely out of her mind. And eventually after we just couldn't stop staring at these people, I looked at Tiffany and I'm like, I think I know that guy. And she's like, what? Who is it? Thinking it's somebody from we went to high school with or something. And I said, no, I think that is a guy I was matched with eHarmony on last year.
My God.
That is crazy that you remember his face after all this time.
It was insane. And honestly, I had never met him. This is like a fuzzy photo on eHarmony.
Yeah.
He only had 3 up.
Oh,
so
my
it
God.
was insane. And she said that to me. She's like, you're insane. There's no freaking way. This was at this huge, thousands and thousands of people. She's like, first of all, what are the odds that he's sitting right behind you? Yeah. You would look at him even because we're just enjoying the show.
Right.
She's like, this is just too insane. And I told her, I said, I really think that's him. And she's like, okay, you're ridiculous. So we kept saying his name, trying to get his attention. We were just kind of being obnoxious, but I was super shy about it. I did not feel comfortable. If he was with somebody that was normal, I probably would have felt comfortable. But this girl was so awful that I was horrified. So the very next day, Tiffany and I were going to the Kings game. I remember this weekend so well. And I wanted to prove her wrong because she kept making fun of me. There's no way. This is so insane. He's not even responding to his name. So at the time I had just got the new iPhone, and this is when iPhones were just coming out. They were, becoming a thing.
Wait, sorry. Before you go in, were you yelling his name at the show?
A little bit.
Sorry.
We were saying his name, trying to get his attention because Tiffany was kind of making fun of me, you're insane, because it was so bizarre. And so I was like, trying to get his attention, but he didn't really, it was so loud. We were at the Dave Matthews concert and he was really distracted and he was really embarrassed. I could tell he was horrified. So, but she was all over him, by the way. And I can picture that now. And now that I'm married to him, it's kind of traumatizing to think about. And so the next day, we had plans that night, and I actually got my old Motorola flip phone that I had from the year before, where I knew I had his phone number, and I actually found the plug. I plugged it in. I found his phone number, and I plugged it into my new iPhone, and I texted him because I just had to know if it was him just because of the irony.
Right.
And so I did. I texted him. I said, hey, you probably don't remember me. My name is Valerie, and we were matched and we never met, but were you at the Dave Matthews concert last night? And he wrote whoa, who is this? He was like, yeah, I was. And I was like, I knew it. All I wanted from him. I figured this was his girlfriend, because she was just completely all over him, straddling him. Really, really bad. And so I was like, oh, I knew it. Okay. Sorry to bother you, and he was like, no. That was not my girlfriend. That was not my girlfriend. And I was like, really? Because you guys seem very together. And he's like, no. I am just mortified. This is definitely not my girlfriend. He's like, this is insane. I totally remember you. We've got to meet up. And I really pushed back at him. I was like, no, you're probably a douchebag. There's no way that wasn't your girlfriend. I didn't believe him at all. And he just kept saying, no, this is insane. We have to meet up. So I remember we met up on a Thursday. So we met up just a few days later, and that was our first date. And he was just dating, and he just had a bad date that night. But that is my husband now.
Wow. So how much after that, was it instant after? Were you still dating others or?
Yeah, we were. It was definitely instant that we knew. Another funny thing about our connection is, you remember how I said I met him through eHarmony, or I was matched with him, but then I got another boyfriend?
Yeah.
So that boyfriend used to talk all the time about this crazy lady that he would get his hair cut with. And this is just so random, but he used to talk about her. He just loved her. He was so close with her. He used to tell me how she's from, Eastern European lady. She could barely speak English, but he just really loved her. So one day I went over to his house and he almost took me over to her house to meet her. And it was like his second mom. He just loved her so much. So I'm on my first date with Rob, like fast forward a year later. And he tells me where he's from. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's the same city that my ex-boyfriend is from. And I just, you usually wouldn't do this, but I told him my ex-boyfriend's name. And he was like, oh, my mom cuts his hair.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, that's your mom? Like, what? I almost met your mom, and now that's my mother-in-law.
That's
my gosh.
crazy.
So you could have met her even earlier.
Yes. Oh, and when he started dating me, she knew exactly who I was because my ex had talked about me so much.
That is
how ironic.
crazy.
That is.
Isn't that insane?
So once you guys were on your first date, did you talk about why there was a misconnection for an entire year?
Oh, he still gives me shit about that. Like, he still is like, what the hell? I mean, and he always like teases when people ask about the story, which obviously you like you were one of them. Like we love to tell the story because it's so crazy. He always like talks crap to me like, oh, she blew me off for a year. And I mean, it's true. And he knows that I was just dating other people. And I mean, he was too, he doesn't care. But yeah, it was just one of those things, but he totally gives me crap for that. But it's just funny that happened. I don't know why. I feel like that happened for a reason. Like, why didn't we just meet up then?
Timing.
I don't know why.
Or you weren't ready. You needed that extra time.
Maybe. I mean, I was pretty young.
So I guess, was there anything different in your life when you actually like met and started to like seriously date?
No, it's just, he and I were both looking for, this is so cheesy, but we were looking for that person, and we're both dating so many people. And when we met, I'll never forget, after our first date, he texted me on the way home. Like, this is so against those rules, that you're supposed to do. And he said, what just happened? I remember that so well. And I felt the same way because we just connected. Like, we would go on dates so often, just, through Harmony or through work or whatever. And we would just be on dates for, 30 minutes, quick drink, and you're out of there because you don't want to be with this person. But this date ended up going from, a quick drink to dinner to dessert to extra beers. It was like a 4-hour date. And then he booked the next date right away. Like, that was another way I knew that he was into me, and I knew the feeling was mutual and it was something kind of different.
Got it.
And so we had the next date booked pretty quickly.
How long did you guys date for before you got engaged?
We dated for about 2 years, a little less than 2 years.
And at what point did you feel like this is it?
Oh, I think I knew by the second date. He tells me that we went to the Irvine Spectrum on our second date, and we went to Dave & Buster's, and we were playing one of those stupid like race card games, and I think I won. And he tells me now, he looked over at me, and we were both just cracking up, and he just looked at me, and he just said in his head, he knew, like, this is my wife.
Wow.
On our second date.
So you guys were both pretty much like marriage minded, trying to find the person. You just had a lot of other people kind of.
Totally.
Okay.
We both were like that type where we were ready to find that person, but just everybody in our way had just been, emotionally unavailable, or just I was dating a bunch of douchebags, and I think he was dating girls that were probably way too young and just kind of lame. And so, yeah, we both were in the same, we were both looking for the same thing. We just had to find kind of each other. So,
interesting.
So what is it about, I'm still kind of stuck on this idea that you recognized him, even though you never met him before, and then you were compelled to call him again and to text him again, to reconnect again. What was it about him? Or did you feel this way with other people too? Or do you just have like a really good photographic memory?
No, I don't. That's such a mystery. I think that part of the reason I contacted him is because Tiffany and I were just joking about it so much, and we both thought it was so insane. And even I doubted myself, like, maybe it's not him, but I just knew in my heart, like, that's him. And I kind of wanted to, like, because we had plans the next night, and I wanted to tell her, hey, that was him. Look, I got the text. Like, I made sure it was him. That's really all I wanted. And then when he was like, no, that's not my girlfriend. I totally remember you. This is so crazy. We've got to meet up. Like that's, where it started. But I don't know. It's weird when I look back on it. It's so insane that I feel like I'm not a super religious person, but like the universe or something was trying to like keep him in my life somehow. Like again, how I called him after my ex and I broke up. And then and that was, I think, in about June. And then a whole thing happened in September. So this is a few months later. It's like I couldn't keep this guy out of my life.
What's interesting is I've actually heard a couple of these stories. Like, and some of them have been like reverse, like we met in real life, then we met online, and then some online in real life.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Yeah, I feel like there's like this just like notion, like you just said, like the universe, it's almost like fate is like bringing you together, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. And I mean, I have to tell you, our relationship has been almost perfect. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but we are still obsessed with each other, and we've been married since 2011. I mean, he is my best friend. I could spend every second with him and not get sick of him. So it really was meant to be for some reason, and I'm so happy because he's so my person.
Did he remember you at the concert?
I don't think so. He told me at the time, "Oh, I thought you looked familiar." I think he was just trying to make me feel better. No, I really don't think he even noticed. I mean, he was like really trying to like keep this girl from not like throwing up all over him. Like she was.
Oh my gosh!
I really
crazy.
think she's the person that you have to thank.
Yeah,
if she wasn't acting so crazy, you probably would have turned around.
I've always looked at her like that damn skank with my man. Yeah, but you're right.
If they were just like chilling, you wouldn't have even noticed them.
You didn't ask her to officiate your wedding.
I know.
She's like,
God,
damn it!
So hilarious. That's a really good spin on that. Yeah.
Wow, that is just so crazy that he also remembered you too. So when you reconnected with him, he's like, "Oh, I know exactly who you are."
Oh yeah, and he made fun of me right away. Like, you blew me off. Like, he knew exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's coming back to me a little bit. I think this is so bad. This is so embarrassing. I think I called him after my ex and I broke up, and he called me back, and then I blew him off again. I blew him off again. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I blew him off twice. So it's the fact that he even like wanted anything to do with me after that. God. I don't know why.
So were you like dating less people at this time, or was it just because of the novelty of like, I need to prove my friend that you gave this guy more of a chance?
I think it was that. And I think that, I don't know. I think I was just kind of like willing to date anybody at that point. I had my feelers out. I was ready to find somebody. And when he was kind of like, that's not my girlfriend, I was like, what do I have to lose? Let's go meet up. It was no big deal. And then after that first date, I just knew. And like, I was dating other people, but there was nothing serious. And it was funny, actually. We just went to a restaurant in Long Beach the other night. It was the same restaurant that he asked me, are you dating anybody else, back in 2009? And we remember that. And he thought that I probably had, 10 boyfriends. And I remember sitting there when he asked me that thinking, he has no idea. Like, I'm so into him, and he thinks I'm over here dating other people. And in my head, he had been my boyfriend for like a month at that point.
Right.
But isn't that's how modern dating is? You just assume whoever you're dating is also dating a ton of other people because they're also on the same
sometimes
platform.
They're not.
Yeah.
You know what? The secret is most of the time they're not.
Yeah, that's the reality.
I think that's definitely true. And he told me that same night, I want you to know that, the other people that I was dating off and on, I think he was probably dating more people than I was, to be honest. He told me that he told them, I found somebody that I'm serious about and I can't see you anymore or whatever, like lose my number. And I was like, oh, that's so romantic.
I mean, even though you were both always like looking for someone, I think there was an element of timing that still played into this for sure. Yeah. It sounds like at least things were a little slower in your life than they were at that first time. And then you had a boyfriend in the mix at one point. So
Totally. I'm a huge believer. I'm a big Sex and the City fan. And there's lots of stuff about when the guy has his light on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is so true. And I know so many guys, so many of my guy friends, like their only reason they're with their wives is they had their light on. I mean, if they had their light on a few years earlier, they would have married whatever girl they were with at that time. We both had our light on. And so that all worked out.
I want to dive into this even more, but before we do, let's take a quick break to hear from our partners. When it comes to holiday gifting, I want to give things that people really love. Beautiful, timeless pieces they'll wear for years. That's why I'm going with Quince. From Mongolian cashmere sweaters to Italian wool coats, everything is premium quality at a price that actually makes sense. Quince truly has something for everyone too. I'm obsessed with their cashmere sweaters, so much that I own 3 of them. They are so soft and luxurious, and they never pill. It feels like they should cost over $200, but they are only $50. What a steal. My whole wardrobe at this point is pretty much Quince. The craftsmanship shows in every detail, the stitching, the fit, the drape. It's elevated, timeless, and made to wear on repeat. I have my eye on their jewelry, pajamas, and robes that are definitely making it on my gift list. I may just need to buy the stainless steel bracelet Apple Watch band for myself too. Find gifts so good you'll want to keep them with Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dateable.
This holiday season, comfort is knowing your home is filled with natural, sustainable comfort for a healthier environment for me and my family. As the holidays fill up with gatherings, travel, and to-do lists, Avocado Green mattress products can transform your home into a peaceful, grounding retreat made with certified organic and sustainably sourced materials. From breathable bedding to handcrafted mattresses, Avocado is all about true comfort, so you can rest, recharge, and wake up refreshed all season long. Have peace of mind that every product is thoughtfully made with the planet in mind, so you can feel good about the comfort and quality you bring into your home. With Avocado, you can enjoy deeper rest, calmer mornings, and a healthier daily routine. And with financing options with Affirm, it's easier than ever to bring Avocado to your home. Prioritize rest and recharge with Avocado's organic comfort. Head to avocadogreenmattress.com today to create your natural oasis and save big during the holiday sale. Avocado, dream of better.
You may have heard about our new Finding Your Person coaching app, and we're excited to announce a special holiday promo for 20% off and that it's now on Android as well. If you're new here or haven't heard about it, we partnered with Studio.com to create an AI-powered app combined with our best-selling Finding Your Person program. After 10 years of doing Dateable, we kept hearing the same thing. I wish I had support in the moment when I'm actually dealing with this stuff. So now you have a dating coach in your pocket to use whenever you want. Using AI also allows this app to be 100% personalized to you based on exactly what you're going through. You'll get audio lessons from us, Dateable podcast recommendations, and even customized exercises we've created. There's even audio or written journaling where you'll get real-time feedback and encouragement and a coach you can talk to identify patterns and growth. The best part is that you can try it for 7 days, and if you're not happy, you can get your money back, no questions asked. Our goal is to help as many people as possible, and we're continuously blown away by how innovative this technology is. To get your 20% off, go to studio.com/dateable now until January 2nd. That's studio.com/dateable. No code required to claim the special holiday price. Enjoy.
What's Rob doing right now? Because I really want to hear from his side of how he could even want to meet up with a girl that blew him off for over a year.
Let me go see.
Hello.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, what's up?
Wait, we just really want to know from your perspective how you were able to even want to meet up with your now wife when she blew you off for over a year. What was going through your mind?
I thought she was a dude. I kept teasing her. I said, "This is a joke. You're a dude." And she'd break up with her boyfriend at the time, and then she would call me and be like, "Okay, maybe I will meet up with you."
And then I blew up again.
Yeah, and then I played hard to get, and then she came after me.
But when she had come back and resurrected, I guess you could say, you said you remember her exactly. So what was about her that was so memorable from her eHarmony profile?
Oh, wow. Well, there was, she was beautiful, and in her story, she had a lot of things going for her. Like she had her little story about how she was a court reporter, and she was, on her own, and from a really young age, and the fact that she had a lot of drive really made me attracted to her, not just physically, but also kind of emotionally at the time.
Was there any sort of transformation you went through in that year when she was blowing you off in your own dating life?
No, it was pretty much one disappointment after another. So I was pretty miserable dating, because there was just not a lot of high quality people out there.
The girl from Dave Matthews wasn't high quality.
Yeah, she sounded like a winner.
No, it was just just a lot of not so good. I mean, it's unfortunately there's just not a lot of high quality people out there that I was attracted to. I set the bar kind of high for myself.
And one last question. I'm going to break this up into a two-parter. So what was your first impression of Valerie on your first date? And then at what point did you know this is going to be my wife? At
first, I thought she was beautiful. She was really tall and carried herself really well. She just oozed a lot of confidence. And that to me was super attractive. I knew she was the one after our second date.
What was it?
I got that right, guys.
Yeah, you did.
You said the same thing.
What happened on the second date that made you think this is it?
The second date was almost like an interview. And she just I went through a lot of questions with her. It was very natural. It wasn't like it just flowed really well, and we clicked. Everything that I asked, she checked the box all the way down. So, and same thing for her. I think.
Yeah. But there wasn't.
I think she liked me.
Rob, there wasn't like a defining moment.
It really wasn't. It was when you're dating, you're not like consciously thinking about it, or at least you shouldn't be. When you're with the right person, I think it just clicks in your head. You shouldn't necessarily be seeking for perfection. It just should come to you. So
I know I said one last question, but this is a real last question. What advice would you give to people who are a little dating fatigued, who may have gone to one too many Dave Matthews concerts with the wrong person, and they're kind of like ready to give up on dating? What would you say to them?
I would just keep going. I wouldn't give up. I mean, if you date enough people, you know what you want and you know what you don't want. And if you set the bar too high for yourself, I think you'll realize that there isn't that exact person out there. I mean, Valerie is perfect for me in all of the ways that I want her to be perfect for me. She's not perfect in every which way, but I'm also kind of a freak in a lot of ways. So I have, little peccadillos just like everybody else does. And I think I realized that she's perfect for me in ways that I didn't even realize I wanted her to be perfect. So I would just say keep going and don't set the bar so high for yourself, because you'll realize when you're with the right person, maybe the things that you thought were what you're looking for aren't necessarily the things that you ultimately end up wanting.
Well, good thing we had him come in. He's
yeah. All right, let's ditch some more, Val. Thanks, Rob.
He's been ditched.
This has been awesome. Should we do a few takeaways?
Yeah, let's do some takeaways. I guess we talked about timing quite a bit on our show, and we keep saying like sometimes it may just not be your time yet. You may just not be ready yet. And it's hard for some of us to feel that way when you actually do feel like you're ready. You're like, I am ready. And you were there, Val. You're like, I'm ready. I'm ready for kids. I'm ready for family. Who's to tell me that I am not ready? But there are some things that we can do when we feel that kind of conflict. Is like, okay, the timing may not be good for me, but mentally I'm there. At least what you can do with that time is to just keep going, right? Like what Rob was saying, you just keep going. You can't give up. And if you give up at that time, that's what's going to end in this like lull. You're just going to end up not dating anybody. So at least you say, okay, a successful relationship is based on mindset and the right timing. At least I got the mindset part down. I'm just waiting for the timing to happen. So you're like 50% there.
Yep. That's a good
Totally.
point.
And then the whole thing about how it happens when you're not looking. I mean, I was
Yeah.
so looking, but that night is not where I thought I'd find my husband.
That is a
that's
really
so
good
true.
takeaway.
That is so true. So many of my friends that are so happily married now, their stories are just like this, where they were not expecting it at that moment.
Yep.
So just remember that, and that's really reassuring.
Yeah, I think that to play off of that, it's almost counter, but like also look around. Like I think if you didn't notice him there, and I think you had the aid of his crazy date to kind of help, but there's a difference between looking actively, like you were just saying, Val, about like always being on the hunt and not letting things naturally unfold versus being closed off and not letting your surroundings take you in. So I think it's not being so fixated, but also being open at the same time.
Exactly.
I gotta say, some of the best nights I've ever had are the nights where I had no expectations.
100%.
And it sounds like you and Tiffany had no expectations. You just had this fabulous weekend. You weren't even going to go to this concert because you're tired, but you're like, what the hell? Let's see what's there.
It always goes that way.
Those are the best nights where the most unexpected things happen.
We changed our clothes in the Target bathroom, the Spectrum, across the street from where this place was. Like, it was one of those nights. I was not feeling cute. I mean, I know that he didn't see me that night, but still, like, it was just, I never thought that I would, seriously, like my Prince Charming would be sitting behind me. I'd spot him, and then like I'd, go dig out his phone number and all of that. And our life is so, busy now with 3 kids, and we're so like in it that when we even think about this is how we met, we feel like it's 2 other people. We can't even believe it. So
I think the other thing too is like, don't be afraid to like maybe if timing didn't line up, like don't be afraid to pull out that number of that person. Like, I like that you just like went for it. Like,
and I had a lot of cojones that night to do that.
For sure.
But I think what I felt was I had nothing to lose because he had a girlfriend, so I didn't really care. You know? But then when he didn't, I was like a little mortified. But he was so open to it. He wasn't like, "Oh, get away, you're creepy, you're stalker." He was like, "No, this is insane. Like you sat right behind me or right in front of me," and so he thought it was just as crazy as I did. But if I hadn't done that, who knows?
But you don't have anything to lose anyways. Like, worst case, they just don't respond to you.
Exactly.
Or like, who cares?
What I find so fascinating, because now you're married and you're not like swiping through on Tinder or anything, but what people have been using these dating apps for is to find someone new. When I actually think sometimes it's a great way to reconnect with someone old.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I remember you.
That happened
from like
to
a few
me
years
through a
ago.
dating app. I like reconnected with a past ex. So like, I think sometimes it definitely can happen.
Because sometimes you don't know where someone is in their relationship status, and if you do see them in an app, at least you know they're somewhat single or looking. So that's half the battle.
I think also it's like an interesting, I don't know what exactly the takeaway is here, but I think there's an interesting piece that you pointed out of that you were like so actively dating that you somehow missed your now husband, right?
Yes.
So it's like
it was right in front of me.
Right. So some of it you could just choke up. The timing wasn't right and you weren't meant to meet there. But then the other side is like maybe like look at the people that you're blowing off a little more and be like, am I blowing them off because like I just on paper they don't seem like who I want or whatever it may be, and then maybe give that extra chance and try to make that extra hour, whatever it is, to get in a date with someone.
Absolutely. And on that note, a little bit, have you guys ever dated somebody just kind of briefly and you become Facebook friends and then years later they pop up in your feed and you're like, oh, I didn't even remember I was Facebook friends with you.
Yep.
Yeah. I've had a few of those and these were like super nice guys. I just blew off because I was just a jerk. And I look at them now and they have these beautiful wives and they have these beautiful children. And I'm like, I should have given that guy more of a chance. Like the other girl that's super hot, hotter than me. And he's like this successful lawyer and they have these beautiful children. And like, there's been those moments too for me. I mean, I'm married, I'm not interested, but I'm like, God, I really blew that guy off. I should have given him more of a chance, because that's another thing to think about too on this for your dateable moment right now.
But then you'd also argue that because you blew those guys off, it led you to your now husband, who is actually the right person.
Totally. There's so many different ways to look at it, but also like if I could talk to my old self, I'd maybe say like, well, be a little bit more open-minded and don't be so quick to judge somebody. Maybe he's really great. And maybe the way he, held his fork at dinner. You shouldn't judge him on that. Just little things like that.
True.
It just shows that we can't write people off right away. And also, people come into our lives for a reason. Even if you go on a 30-minute date with someone, there's a reason why the universe placed them in your life for those 30 minutes.
Yes,
it's true.
So we just gotta be more cognizant of those moments.
Absolutely.
Cool. We're gonna do a question of the day.
This comes from Doug. I saw this really cute girl in a bar. She was laughing, smiling, and was just really pretty. I didn't have the nerve to approach her though, so I went on Tinder and actually found her. I swiped right, but there wasn't a match. It made me relieved that at least I saved face by not approaching her at the bar, but I can't stop thinking about her. Any advice, or what would you have done differently?
I feel like it's your online persona, and I think, Val, you are the prime example of this. Your online persona and your in-person persona are different sometimes. And so how you perceive someone through their dating profile may be very different than how they are in person.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So maybe I've actually dated guys that I thought, okay, if I saw him on Tinder or whatever, I would have never swiped for him. But because I've now met him in person, I see how much chemistry we have.
Right.
So you can't use these apps as an absolute way to determine someone's interest.
Also,
Absolutely.
I think the other piece that it was a comment about she didn't match with him. You have no idea, when the last time she's been on the app, how frequently she uses. You have zero clue to that. So my advice to Doug, or I guess if you were to reverse time, just go up to her in person when you see her. What do you have to lose at that point?
That's what I would say. And I don't know how these apps work. Can you message somebody even if they say no to you?
No, you can't. So basically, he was probably blocked at that point.
So now he just has to hope to run into her again. This is awful.
Well, I think...
I mean, if he had just gone up to her, even if she was like, oh, I'm in a relationship, at least you know. Or she was like, I'm not interested, at least you know now. You're just wondering.
Okay, so for Doug going forward, because obviously he can't go back in time, but at least don't repeat this again with the next girl that he sees at a bar and is interested in. No regrets. We've talked about this before. Just go for it. There shouldn't be any regrets. We shouldn't rely on these apps to give us this magic 8-ball answer, because also remember, from a business perspective, all these apps want to have as much inventory as possible. Some of these apps, some of these profiles may have been deleted, have 8 months of idle time. You don't know, and they don't want you to know.
Right.
So if you're not matching with someone, like Julie said, it doesn't really mean they're not interested. Anything could
It doesn't
happen.
mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have Doug on the show in a couple months or a year. That he reconnected with this girl. The timing is right. So
I hope
who
so.
knows?
I'm heartbroken over this.
Right? He's gonna go and find every Dave Matthews concert there is.
I know. That's what they definitely should do.
Are Dave Matthews
Definitely
even
should do
playing
that.
anymore? Probably not.
How old is Dave Matthews?
He's still on tour. We almost went to go see him a few weeks ago.
Oh, he's still alive and kicking. All right.
Okay, Doug, you got it. This is your plan of action. We're just
and
Spotify in the
everybody
park.
in those moments should just take that opportunity. What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
She blows you off. Who cares? Move on with your day.
Right.
You don't know her. She's not in your life,
At least there's I think now the fact that we're actively using brain power to think about it, then you would have just got an answer or hopefully even something really great could have come out from it. But at the minimum,
maybe she would have been super open to it,
Yeah, or blow you off for a year and then end up marrying you and giving you 3 beautiful children. You
That's
never
another
know.
moral of the story. If you get blown off, it's maybe not the end.
Yeah.
She could come back.
A lot of
but at
times
least
it's
you
not
have
the
to be
end.
on the radar. I think that's the key. If you're not even on the radar, then it's really hard to come back.
Yes, definitely. Don't feel defeated. Any other takeaways, everybody?
I mean, it's my story, so I'm curious to see what your takeaway is. But for me, it's just, like Shane, or like he was saying, just don't give up. You just have to keep going. And I mean, I would have never given up. I was never that girl that dreamt of babies. I dreamt of marriage. And so I was tunnel vision, trying to find that right guy. And I would have never given up. And I'm glad at that. I mean, I was so young, but I'm glad I found him when I did, because we were able to be married for a while and travel and still have time, before we started having a family. And I'm really grateful for all that time. But I mean, I went through it. A lot of my friends that were friends with me back in my 20s, like they still even tell him, like, you know, you don't understand what she went through to get to you. Like, I dated the entire universe.
Right.
And one day your friends will be saying that to your husband.
I think it makes you more grateful though when you actually meet that person. Though.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. For
Yes.
sure.
The wait is
so
worth
happy.
it. The wait is
definitely.
worth it.
But maybe
great.
maybe that was my lesson. Maybe the
Yeah.
universe was waiting for me to feel grateful, because if it
Yep.
just fell in my lap, I just would have been like, yeah, this is how life goes. But I so appreciated it. And I still do to this day.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
an interesting point.
great point.
You kind of like have to go through hell to appreciate what you have on Earth. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that is a very
Absolutely.
good point. Very good point.
And
So
your
it-
husband could say the same with that awful Dave Matthews date.
Exactly. And he and I both went on so many awful ones. So it really did make us appreciate what we had. And we told each other right away, you know, and
Yep.
that's one thing about my relationship with him that was a little bit different. There was no game playing. We were all in, like, so quick. And I was like, it was so refreshing, you know, to not
Yeah.
have to do the exhausting games of waiting days to
Yes.
call or text. Like,
Yep.
we just went. I mean, we went to Vegas together for our 1 month anniversary. I'll never
Wow.
forget that. We went on a trip together. We'd been together 4 weeks, you know.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
So I
amazing.
guess if any of our listeners feel like they're in the trenches of dating and they feel like they've gone through hell and back, at least know that you are on your way
Yep.
to see the light.
Exactly.
There is
Honestly,
something
I'm
great.
also such a believer that if you do believe that, it will come to you. Like, I
Mhm.
really, really feel that, you know, if you keep believing it will happen. If you are just kind of like, oh, this is never happening for me, I'm so depressed, I hate dating, I hate like all the negative, you're going to just attract more negative. But if
Yeah.
you just really focus on the positive and you really think it's going to happen for you, it will. I promise.
Well, that is a
Awesome.
great note to end on.
That's a great note to end on. We empower all of our listeners to go on this journey and see it as a journey and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Even like not end of the tunnel. There's always going to be light anywhere you go. So cherish
Definitely.
what you have and really think about like the experiences you've had and be appreciative of all the people who've come in and out of your lives. Val, do you want to talk about your website? I know you have this lovely business.
I know, with Christmas coming, if you want to support somebody with a bizarre story like this, my website is easy. It's valeriesboutique.com. And I have a lot of really cool gifts that are great, you know, holiday gifts and stuff like that. Everything made in Orange County.
And
What type of things do you make?
It's mostly jewelry right now, but
Oh,
we're actually
awesome.
venturing out and making some other stuff. But it's mostly jewelry. We have a really cool man card, which is this metal bottle opener that men can put in their wallets. And I make some like wine charms and some home decor and stuff like that.
And this is also just like, I think this is a side conversation. We can have another episode, but it's also a great way to show like the transition from being this like powerful court reporter, independent woman, dating everybody in LA, mother of like 3 kids, married, living in Orange County, and still running this like incredible business and still keeping your independence. And I think a lot of times when we talk about like marriage, people feel like they're giving up some sort of independence and like what they created for
Totally.
themselves before marriage. All of our very powerful girlfriends feel somewhat that way. And you're a great example of someone who was able to transform those skills into something else.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm an able-bodied human that even though I am, you know, raising these 3 children, I want to be able to support, you know, and help contribute to my family. So it's so nice to have my creative outlet and be able to do it all because I'm home working from home and I can still be around them, but I'm able to also work. So it's
Awesome.
that part has been
Or
wonderful.
if you want to try to win back someone from your past, maybe there's a gift here for you.
Nice tie-in. And
Exactly.
we also invite our listeners to be a guest on our show. We'd love to hear your story. If there's something very similar to Val's story or something opposite of that, I don't know. Maybe there's something interesting there. So we'd love to have you as a guest on our show. All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Stay dateable.